to order at 6 o'clock. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So first up, we have department and board updates and requests. Designation is served. We have the fire chief present.
No, I figured that I could handle this. So this is pretty straightforward. At annual town meeting approved a request for 2 new fire EMS message boards. These are put at 2 different locations to advise on various emergencies as well as significant events at the meeting. A third is owned by the water department, and that'll be topic of a special town meeting for looking at replacing. So now that we have received the 2 new message boards, we have the existing ones that, in order to get rid of them, and the board previously received an email that BVT would like to be able to receive those. We need to identify these as surplus. So looking at getting board's approval to designate it as surplus equipment so we can dispose of it pursuant to Mass General Law 30.
Any questions? Maureen? Brett?
No questions.
Do I hear a motion?
I move that the board vote to designate 2 former fire EMS message boards as surplus equipment and authorize for their disposition pursuant to Mass General Law.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Review and approval of proposed building permit fee schedule. Michael?
Evening,
Evening.
Mike Antonellis, Land Use and Inspection Services. I have with me tonight Amy Bonina, Department Coordinator. So when I started here a year and a half ago, this was on my desk to review our building fees, because apparently, building permit fees, well, as you can see from what was provided, building permit fees for Upton have been the lowest for basically the immediate area, but I suspect even larger surrounding area. So as was provided is a breakdown beyond just the memo. In the summary within the memo is what the current fee structure is for sample 2 sample homes and an addition of real applications that we've seen to base this off of. So you have the current fee, what is currently assessed for the current fee, and then what will be proposed under the new fee schedule, as well as a comparison to Grafton, Hopkinton, Mendon, Northbridge, and Sun. So I'll just read from the memo that was submitted to the select board. It's been noted that permitting fees for the town of Upton have not been evaluated or increased since February of 2018. Due to increases in construction costs, inflation, and to be consistent with other towns, Land Use and Inspectional Services Department is requesting the following increases to the current permitting fee structure. The recommendations are based upon comparisons with surrounding towns, as I just said, while all other surrounding towns base their permit costs upon the cost of the job. Upton currently bases it upon a square footage of the project. That attached is a fee structure that shows those comparisons. When comparing the total cost of all permits required to build a new home, Upton currently charges the lowest amount. Also, because we are currently charging per square foot for a project instead of the cost of the project, the permitting fees are not accurate. For example, if a kitchen renovation is $80,000 and another is $20,000, both submitted to Upton, we would currently charge the same amount for both of those permits. So obviously the materials used in one kitchen renovation could be far different from another kitchen renovation. Obviously, we all know those that it can be definitely 20,000 to 80,000 depending on what you're using. Whether or not you're just getting, the cabinets from Home Depot, or if you're doing something a little bit more high end. No offense to Home Depot.
Sure.
I have Home Depot cabinets in my house, I'm sure. So this requested change would create consistency in our fees and consistency, obviously, with the surrounding towns. We're also proposing slight changes to the zoning board fees, as well as slight changes to plumbing, gas, and electrical permits, all of which cover increasing costs. Amy did a lot of the heavy lifting as far as the research and, you know, gathering all of the surrounding towns, permitting fees, putting together the sample permits that we use to compare the costs of those two houses plus the addition. And we sat down with Pat Roach, who couldn't be here tonight, the building commissioner, and went through every single one of these fees to evaluate what the expectation is as far as cost for, like, for example, you see so like a sewer hookup or something like of the sort, where I know, Amy, we're going through a lot of these fees where it was like a $50 fee for a lot of these smaller permit types. And with discussions with Pat Roach was, yeah, it's $50 likely for, you know, the review and getting us out one time to review the work and inspect. But usually that particular permit would require at least 2 inspections. And so you know, where it goes from like 50 to 75 in places, where you see those sorts of increases, that's what it's meant to capture, is to the amount of inspections, the amount of work that staff would be dedicating to reviewing and performing inspections. So I'm happy to go through any questions you have, any specifics or anything. I'll defer to the board at this point.
Frank, do you have any questions?
No, the analysis is very thorough and helpful, and all of the comparisons were great. And I know there was sort of a project-based comparison. I didn't notice, is there any sort of, and I know it's hard to say because it's sort of it's a function of the projects, but like the expected impact to revenue annualized?
I haven't done that sort of
Yeah.
projection, but I mean, it'll definitely, assuming the same amount of permits submitted year to year.
Yeah.
I mean, it would definitely increase revenue.
Mhm.
It's hard to know whether or not we would see a decrease in permits submitted the next fiscal year. You know, that could all be dependent upon interest rates and other factors. But assuming everything stays constant, it definitely would increase revenue. But I just don't have the number holding that constant, what that number would actually.
Lori, do you have any questions? No, just that I think it was time to do something like this as far as the other towns go. You know, they're all much higher than Upton.
I don't think they've revisited their fee schedules
They
very
haven't.
recently. Amy, do you know if they've?
I actually have it next door, but I printed everything off their websites in addition to numbers we were missing. I called them individually to find out those numbers, and I think they had reviewed it at least a couple of years.
So even those fee schedules
not.
are possibly a little behind, and I don't know for certain, but I imagine sometime in the near future, they will also probably be reviewing their fees.
I also offered to share our results with them because
Great.
I reinvent the wheel for them too.
This was an extensive amount of work. You did a really nice job. I appreciate it.
Great job.
Any further questions? If,
Love a spreadsheet.
but still, it takes time and effort to pick the phone up and call
A
people.
lot of data.
So do I hear a motion?
I move that the board vote to adopt the building permit fee schedule as presented and with an effective date of July 1st, 2024.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
Great
you.
work.
Actually, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Next up are resignations from.
So if we can skip to that,
Skip.
one that I just gave 2C.
Oh. See, that's what you do when you give me something last minute. There we go, you know? It's not on my agenda. 2C, please. Okay.
So this item got added today after conversation with Dennis Westgate, our DPW director, that we missed having this on the agenda. And just for anyone watching, as well as anyone that's here, open meeting law allows for the board to take action on items that get placed on the agenda less than 48 hours in advance. The condition is that at the next subsequent meeting, you recertify that vote. So any action taken today, we will have it also on the agenda for July 9th, just recertifying that we took action and that it was action that was taken less than 48 hours since the agenda was posted. Realistically, when we met with FinCom, would have been nice to have this posted at the exact same time, but it's before the board. And as was stated during that meeting with Finance Committee, the water department has had some expenses, water breaks that were of course not foreseen. So they are close to running out of their water enterprise expense account. And they're looking to transfer $50,000 from the water enterprise dash extra unforeseen expenditures account to the water enterprise expense account. And that would be for funds within fiscal year 24, the current year that we're.
Any questions, Maureen?
No, we discussed this with him.
We did. Fred, do you have any questions?
What is it for?
To cover additional expenses that were unforeseen. We had a lot of water breaks that just weren't budgeted for. We have basically it's this unforeseen expenditure account that's already appropriated by town meeting. We're just sort of transferring it because it's approved as a separate budget, a budget line. So it's not available to him, and it requires select board as well as finance committee to approve that transfer.
Thank you. I'm good.
Do I hear a motion?
I move that the select board vote to accept the, oh, that's wrong. This is the. I move that the board vote to transfer $50,000 from the water enterprise extra unforeseen expenditures to the water enterprise expense account.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Now we're on to 3A, resignations from Council on Aging.
So as part of the annual appointment process, we reach out to members on various boards to inquire whether or not they are interested in serving. So we sent it one to Elizabeth Consigli. She replied back saying that she would like to resign from the COA. And then we also have received a separate resignation from Margaret Watson for resigning from the Council on Aging as well. How this all falls out, we will cover in one of the subsequent agenda items when we come together with appointments. Just would like to point out that both Margaret and Elizabeth, also known as Betty, have been serving on the Council on Aging for over 12 years. I don't have an exact date, but either way, they've contributed a significant amount of their personal time to the benefit of seniors by participating in the Council on Aging.
We appreciate that. That is a long time to serve. Anybody have any questions? Do I hear a motion?
I move that the select board vote to accept the resignations of Margaret Watson and Elizabeth Consigli from the Council on Aging for the town of Upton, with regrets.
I'll second, and thanks to them for all the time that they.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, and yes, we appreciate every minute. So now we're off to annual reappointments.
So in your packet, and what I provided as a hard copy is an updated list. It's color coded that the bluish color is people that have confirmed they would like to be reappointed. The yellowish color is a vacancy that is open. And then the green is for people that are eligible for reappointment, but have not indicated whether or not they would like to be reappointed. Past appointments, my understanding is that the board has reappointed, and the board has the option of many things, but reappointed people who have indicated they would like to be reappointed. And then for the people who have not responded, we are able to reach out again to see if they are and take it up at a future meeting. Or we can also make seats available. For any of the vacant positions, we will be advertising that we have, say, for example, technology committee, we have 2 vacancies that would be available for people.
So right now, we would just be appointing the people, reappointing the people of the board, not appointing the people that have not expressed an opinion one way or another. And then we'll have additional appointments that we have the applications for in our packet, correct?
For, that would be then a subsequent, so
I just want to make sure I know what I'm doing.
one of the things that
We're appointing the people in blue
Yeah,
and
yeah,
deferring the people in green until we
Yeah,
get back from
and
them,
I-
as well as any vacancies or additional new applicants will be considered later.
that's what I wanted to make sure, that any new applicants would be considered later.
Yeah.
Works for me. Do I hear a motion? Or do we have any discussion, Maureen?
Oh, they usually go through all the appointments.
Since this is my first time through all of
I
this.
know.
I know, that's why I'm looking at you two for assistance.
Do-
So, do you want to go through line by line?
However,
Or,
In
I'm-
groups, probably.
it's,
groups?
it's never been this well organized before, so kudos to you and to whomever helped you do this. It's wonderfully organized, very simple and straightforward. It's gotten better every year, like so many things that we do, so that's good to see. We can go through it committee by committee if you want, or we can just do the whole thing. I'm fine either way.
well, for example, my question, Joe, would be the first one, 1 year KP Law. I know we're looking into
So-
that. So
one of the things is that
if we don't appoint them, they continue, and then do we
Correct.
change it?
likewise, if you appoint and then you decide to change, you just reconsider your appointment. Nothing here like blocks. And I'm only speaking with that one specific
Your first
item.
line.
Yes.
That does not.
First one. Okay, that was a concern. Works, okay, so,
Okay, do you want to, so what do you prefer to do? Let the
We're
way
gonna go in groups.
go by groups, okay.
Okay.
Great, so I make a motion to appoint KP Law for a 1-year appointment.
I'd rather look,
What?
I'd rather look first.
All right, so then why don't you do the motions? And I'll follow your lead. That's fine.
Economic Development Committee, Eugene Burnett, David Brooks, Pierre Cody, Julie Jonkis, Craig Weinfuss.
Second the motion?
all in favor?
Aye.
Green Community Committee, Robert Jordan, Phil Kazalaskas, William Taylor.
Second the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Lakes, Ponds and Streams, Mike Panko, Gary Strickschatz, Bill Taylor, Laurie Wood.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Land Stewardship Committee, Eric Reustel, Scott Heim, Mike Penko, Mary Overholt, Marcella Sassa, Livermore.
Second the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mosquito Control Board, Chris Scott. Oops. Marcella Stacia and Alyssa Bernard.
Second the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Open Space Committee, Mike Panko, Christine Scott, Bill Taylor, Todd Dodd, Cheryl McClendon.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Records Access Officer, M. Denise Smith, Michael Bradley.
Second?
All in favor?
Technology Committee, Jeff Boss, David Brooks, John Daly, David Lane, Stephen Rackerton.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Tree Warden, Dennis Westgate.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Affordable Housing Trust, which is a 2-year term. That's, and Catherine Robinson hasn't got back to you on that? No. Skip over that unless one of the members would like to be on tonight.
No? You're, oh,
I'm on it now.
okay, well,
I can't do that.
I nominate Maureen Dwinell for the Board of Selectmen to Affordable Housing Trust. I thought we had done that earlier, but that works.
I'm there.
Okay, all in
Second.
favor?
Aye,
Aye,
second, aye, second.
yeah, there we go.
Capital Budget Committee, Lynn Hackett.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Council on Aging, Sue Perry, Karen Gilricky.
all in favor?
second, yeah, all right, I got the one.
Just broke our rhythm. All in favor? Aye.
Cultural Council, Kate Bailey, Robin Jolkala, Shelley Glassman, Jennifer Conner.
Second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Custodian of Tax Title Properties, Treasurer Collector, 3-year term, Jessica Gomez.
second,
All in favor?
Uh, Disability Commission, 3-year term, Christine Scott.
second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Finance Committee, Sean Craig.
second,
All in favor?
aye,
You should have put Paul Osborne.
Linda might kill him.
Fire and EMS, we're waiting on those, right? There's
Looks like
vacancies. Historical Commission, Joan Burrow.
second,
All in favor?
aye,
OPEB Trust Commission Trust, Treasurer Collector, Jessica Gomez, 3-year term.
second,
All in favor?
Personnel Board, Janice Gallagher, Masha Keselowski.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Registrar of Voters, and Amy Bonina.
second,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Zoning Board of Appeals, Eric Riusto.
second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. So now we're off and running to 3C, annual new appointments.
So,
Go ahead, Phil.
so first, first thing in the packet, I have, we have a total of, 5 applications for, 5 vacancies. 3 for Council on Aging, 1 for Mosquito Tick Control Board, and 1 for Cultural Council. So first, just talking about Council on Aging. As the board may recall, the Council on Aging has amended their procedures manual, previously referred to as bylaws, but they're really policies and procedures because they can make changes to them at any regularly posted meeting rather than bylaws that would require town meeting approval. They had reduced the membership from 11 to 9. So what that results in is their 3-year appointments. And so previously the membership was spread across those 3 years with 11 members. That resulted in 2 years where 4 people were appointed and 1 year with 3. So the sheet just before your page 3C has basically a Council on Aging appointment status showing 11 seats and then recommending 2 in red to be deleted to bring it down to 9. What that does is then creates a appointment cadence of 3, 3, and 3 to maintain sort of equal distribution. And that's where you can see the seat that was previously vacated by Margaret. We're recommending that that be deleted. Then a seat that was held by Greg Manning, who did not return interest to renew and be reappointed. That fell in the second year, so recommend that be deleted. That then creates from that reduction creates the 3 open positions, which then in your chart you see as shaded in that cream color. That's where on the control sheet for 3C, you see there's 2 3-year terms and 1 1-year term. That 1-year term is to then get that seat back on that 3-year cadence. 2 of them were going to be, because unfortunately the members passed away and they were up for renewal. That's 2 of them. And then 1 had passed away, and they would have been up for reappointment next year. So then we maintain that sort of 3, 3, and 3. How everything worked out, I did meet with Tanya, the Director of Elder and Social Services, to make sure their internal records matched ours, which they do. So this is sort of like, will allow us to maintain these records going forward.
And Joe called me today. There are 6 applications for Council on Aging. 3 cannot be here tonight. So I suggested, to be fair to everyone, they're traveling, they're away, that we do interview the applicants that are here tonight, extend the Council on Aging till the 9th, let the other 3 interview in person or speak for themselves, and then make the appointments.
They're not, Council on Aging isn't meeting again until after the select board's meeting, so there won't be an issue with maintaining quorum. These are existing vacancies. If they need to get people, they can achieve a quorum with the 2 members that were just appointed. Sorry, reappointed. Karen and Susan.
So in my packet, the first application I have is Jeannie Brooks, and my understanding is she's traveling.
Correct.
Okay. Next up would be Mr. Fleming.
Hi.
How are you? If you'd like to speak on why, we'd love to hear you.
Okay, as you know, I've been involved in the town quite extensively over the years, and it's hard to let go. We like to be involved and contribute to the town. I've been privileged in many capacities to be a part of the ongoing positions within the town of Upton. I would like to serve as an advocate for the seniors of this town, being one now, and it comes faster than you may think. But I did attend the board, and I see a comfort factor there for myself. And I think my experience in the various positions I serve would be invaluable to that committee and to that organization. So having the time available, I would like to offer that and my services to the town again.
Does anyone have any questions? I know, I know Cheryl Henderson is also away. So the next applicant I have would be Sandy Marusi. Oh, can you not hear me? You're Sanji? Yes, okay. We'd like to know why you'd like to serve on Council on Aging. Right up front.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you like to tell us why you'd like to be on Council on Aging?
Yes, I would.
I've lived in this town for 44 years. My 3 children have gone through the school system. My grandchildren have gone through the school system. I had the great pleasure of serving the school system for over 25 years and worked in every school within our system as a paraprofessional for disabled children. I feel I would be a good advocate for the seniors and listen to them and know what they want, because I've been working meals on meals and I've been hearing a lot. So I have applied for this position.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next applicant we have is Maggie Omen.
So we did touch base with her, and she indicated her preference to attend on the 9th.
Let me just keep my notes up to date. John Solon, I understand, is out of town.
Yes.
Do we have any other Council on Aging applications? No. Okay. That's fine. The next one is for mosquito and tick. I have Danette Rutledge. Is she present? Not online?
No.
Not present. Okay. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Okay, we can do one of two things. We can put this off to the 9th and see if she cares to attend. It's my understanding everybody was issued an invitation.
Yep.
Well, let's start with, does anyone have a preference?
I mean, I see your application. I'm fine with appointing her, given that there's not multiple applicants and there's an open seat and
Okay,
open to serving.
we can address this now. I am not a fan of this. She's not a registered voter, which tells me she's not interested in government. She has not attended a meeting of this particular board or committee. She is not here tonight. This committee has had a hard time finding a quorum. That's why they were reappointed and reorganized. So I would not be in favor of this. Maureen, do you have any comments?
No, saying no. No, she's not. Doesn't look like she has attended.
I just don't want to see history repeat itself personally. So do I hear a motion to appoint her? No? Then we'll keep-
And that's where it's up to you if there's a motion, and then it fails to get to the second motion to appoint.
So hearing nothing,
I mean, the two of you don't want her off to serve, so I'm not gonna make a motion to appoint her. That would be kind of silly. Right?
procedurally, we're fine with that, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, works for me. Okay, so now I'm totally lost because I just hit my cursor. My apologies. Okay, so now I have an application for Marie Kitchen for a cultural pound. So Marie, hi. If you'd like to tell us why you'd like to be, this is the microphone. If you speak loudly, you can speak from there.
I'm a new resident of Upton, definitely love the work of this town and want to become involved with how it operates. It reaches out to the community. Shelley Glassman is in met her, and she asked me to sit on the council, and I thought about it. It would be a great way to serve the town. My husband and I are both supporters of the art, and I think it's super important to make sure that programs come to the town to bring people together so that we're not a disparate, just bunch of roads and buildings. We're actually, I am familiar with a lot of the events that have happened in the library for library nerds. The whale program, some of the senior programs, and I want to be a part of helping to decide which groups need to the culture for our town and bring it together.
Do you have questions? Brett,
No,
Maureen, do I hear a motion?
I'll move that we appoint Marie Kitchen to the cultural council, and that's a 3-year term.
Let me just verify. Yes, it is.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous?
Nice.
Okay, so that does our appointments. Joe, your report, please.
Okay, you're running 1 minute ahead of schedule. So.
Nicely done.
Ooh, smoking.
So we're coming in the end of the fiscal year. A couple things I want to bring the board up to date on, as well as the town. We're completing this week the HVAC controls project. Sorry, next week, the HVAC controls project. This work is being funded through an earmark that the town receives with the assistance of Representative Meridian. Second item is 28 Hartford Ave North. This is property that's owned by the Affordable Housing Trust. And it was brought to our attention when we opened the RFP for demolition services that we needed a certification report of hazardous materials. We paused that RFP process and did a selection process to get the services of a company to assist us with that certification. It did come to our attention that the Board of Health had, that a company had gone into the building, but we found no documented report. And because we do need a formal assessment, a company was brought in by the town planner yesterday into 28, and they should have their report back in about a week. That will then allow us to go back out to RFP for demolition services for 28 Hartford. That then will, as a follow-up, we did, as the board may recall, we did do a request for proposals for the development of that property for affordable housing. We did receive a proposal from Habitat for Humanity. Once we take care of the demolition, the Affordable Housing Trust will also be meeting to go over that proposal, and we'll be providing at least a recommendation back to the board or some sort of update once they've had a chance to meet with Habitat for Humanity, which my understanding is they're meeting this Friday to hear about their proposal. As people are starting to experience, it's getting warm out there. We are formally opening the old senior center at 2 Farm Street tomorrow for a cooling station. One of the main reasons we're doing that is tomorrow is Juneteenth. It is a state holiday, and we will not have transportation services. So we're looking at the former center, because one of the main concerns and what we experienced last year was there's residents at Millhouse Road that may not have working or really don't even have AC, and making that space available so at least they can stay within the building. We also will make 2 Farm available as cooling center on Thursday. The community center will be open so that if residents would like to cool down at the Upton Community Center, visit the library, partake in programs, that building will be open 9 to 8 on Thursday and Friday. The old center will be open on Wednesday and Thursday, 9 to 8 as well. Message did go out on our website. We put out flyers and signs in Millhouse as well as the community center. Police have put it out on their social media, which has been shared by other town accounts. So people should see that and share it. And if people can look out for their neighbors, if anyone does need a place to cool off, we have places to bring. I know since I got here, a lot of residents were impacted by the increase in electric rates by National Grid over the winter. And I previously let the board know that the Department of Public Utilities had finally approved our plan. So I was communicating with Colonial Power, they're our consultant. Now that the plan is approved, we are soliciting proposals for rates. We're tentatively shooting for an October 1st kickoff date, as when Colonial Power was here. This is all dependent on the results that come in. If the rates are not advantageous, we can delay and wait for that to happen. But we should be getting things in sometime in beginning of August for us to make that decision and then publicize and get the word out to the residents. So that's finally coming forward. Another thing is we're almost done with the community center with the parking lot. VFW was seal coated, and the next step, we're awaiting for scheduling the repainting of the lines in the community center parking lot to add additional handicap parking spaces and to add a couple more spaces. So that's going to be done over the summer. Want to let people know that August 28th is going to be the Grafton, Mendon, Upton Takeover Day at the Blue Sox. Both recreation, the COA Senior Center is going to be promoting a flyer. People can use, go either through the WooSox website or through a QR code that then will allow you to purchase tickets for that day. The senior center is also coordinating a trip so that seniors can visit that takeover dinner. Upcoming events, June 26th at 2:30 at the community center, ESS, Elder and Social Services, will be having a speaker come to discuss 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. Also, Wednesday, the 26th, Recreation kicks off the summer concert series at Kiwanis Beach. And then coming up middle of July, Upton Recreation Youth Summer Theater will be putting on a production of The Pied Piper. That will be July 19th at Nipmuc High School.
Thank you. Any public input from anyone? Care to make any comments, suggestions? Am I correct? The fireworks are this weekend on the.
Oh, my word. Yes.
Saturday night, people, fireworks, DVT, food trucks, and of course,
Hot
the
dogs
grand
and
finale.
hamburgers.
Yeah, hot dogs and hamburgers, but no, there's, the Board of Health has received, I don't know the exact number. There will be quite a selection of food trucks at Valley
Really?
Cottage. Yes, I want to say close to 10,
Wow.
yes. So. Well, support the town, support the men's club. Watch the show, right, that's my comment. So next we have a road race application.
So many of these are annual events.
Yes.
And it is that. Sorry, I'm just getting my packet down to road races. Thanks.
Yes, hold on, yes.
The information we need to be getting out to the seniors about the cooling center down at Mill House and the others at the hours.
It's been put out on the police department website. It's been put out on Facebook. I've shared it to Upton moms and dads as well as Upton moms. And there have been flyers posted in Millhouse. And I know from being on Facebook, some people who live in Millhouse have shared it. If anyone sees their neighbor or is concerned about an elder in town, please feel free to share the word. Yes, yes, but thank you. So I
So
know the spooky race is an annual event.
So first off, the spooky run race. This is October 27th. The material on the race is in your packet. The police chief has, well, you don't have that version in your packet. The police chief has signed off on this road race, as well as DPW has signed off on it as well.
Any questions, Maureen? No? Brett?
Questions?
Motion? Do I hear a motion?
I forget who's up. I don't know if it's you or me.
I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
No, toss a coin.
Move that the select board vote to approve the road race application for the Hot to Trot 5K road race.
Back up. You're one ahead. We are on
We can
6A. Right here. Yeah, there's two. Yeah, you can use mine if you want. This is what happens for the people at home. This is what happens when you do everything on the computer and you hold that little down button a little too long.
Scrolling a 61-page document on a screen.
Yes, we have 61 pages in our packet, so please forgive us.
I was wondering about the date.
Page 40.
Shall we try it again? Do I hear
Yeah.
a motion?
Move that the select board vote to approve the road race application for the Spooky Run 5K road race submitted by Mendon Upton Education Foundation to be held on Sunday, October 27th, 2024.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Now,
B is now the Hot Trot 5K.
That's been approved by the chiefs
Yes.
and everything?
Is that,
Okay.
That one's yours.
all right, I got this one.
There you go.
I move that the select board vote to approve the road race application for the Hut to Trot 5K road race submitted by Tri-County Regional Chamber of Commerce to be held on Saturday, July 27th, 2024 at 8 a.m.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimous. Next up is engagement of legal counsel to review the 40B project.
For board members, you have a copy of a letter as well as then a hourly fee agreement. The scope is pretty straightforward. Evaluation of the 40B application and materials, and then development of a document to advise the board on permitting and providing recommendations on anything that the board may want to consider for next steps.
This is a true document review, correct?
Yes,
Start.
immediately.
Because we have what, 3 weeks before?
Essentially, yes. Yep.
Questions?
I don't have any questions.
Maureen? Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I move that the select board vote to execute the legal services agreement as presented.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. We are way ahead of time. Yes, but it's a public
Oh,
hearing.
which one? Oh, it sure is. It's all right. Oh, wow.
No, not really.
We have a lot of other work we can. okay.
What can we? Okay, so Mr. Joe, you keep me on the straight and narrow procedurally. Where are we?
Okay, so.
Open it early?
So there's two things. One, we can't. So we can go through other items of the agenda specifically, and I know you didn't have a chance to review the meeting minutes that I sent yesterday. So I'm already have that slated for the next meeting.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I'm glad you did, because I tried to print them and I don't know what my printer did, but I had pages all over the place and I don't read extensive paperwork on the computer.
So then we do have the topics of discussion of meeting agenda topics, scheduling priority projects, and then reviewing the special town meeting schedule as well.
So let's move to that.
We already did.
You already did it?
Yeah.
That's quick.
We have been smoking, which is why we're,
Not yet.
not yet, because I do believe it will be your public hearing. So, do you want to do 10B, discussion of meeting agenda topics, scheduling and priority?
Yeah, since, the two documents that have in there, one is an updated agenda topics. This is what I'm trying to keep track of and make sure that we have some orderly meetings, distribute things, but also because many of it impacts staff who may need to attend, want to make sure that things are spread out. We also then have that project list. Want to make sure that get the board's input. For example, I haven't started slotting things in for August 20th, 23rd, or 17th. We do have town meeting coming in there. I know I have a discussion item for the schedule. Sorry, schedule essentially locked in. But it gives you an indication that, we're going to have realistically 3 meetings where the warrant is going to be over 6th, 20th, and then the 3rd. So, we talked about inviting in other boards. We talked about having that workshop meeting with Lyndon and Greg. So part of this is just talk about
I'd like to have the Personally, I'd like to, two things. I'd like to have the workshop meeting sooner rather than later, in case we need to put anything on the town warrant. And the other thing is I did call Steve Matillion, who's head of the trust fund, and asked him to do some research regarding the scholarships. I'd like to put that, he was gonna have a meeting. I'd like to put that on the agenda for the night, because if we need to alter anything, once again, it will fall under town meeting. So I prefer to, let's add trust fund to July 9th. We'll get updated. And we'll talk about cleaning that up. And that way, if anything needs to be voted, we're ahead of the game. It's, Maureen, do you have any comments?
With the grass property. Has there anything been done with that? I see it's up for discussion. For a baseball field, softball, baseball.
I am the liaison to the RecCom, and I know we met I think it was February. And they were considering, let's face it, and this was my suggestion to them as well. Our baseball fields are crowded. It conflicts constantly with the BFW events and the senior center. I know the trash fields were left specifically. I had tasked Maria and reporter, I said, look for grants, look for field grants. I think I'd like to try to get something on the town meeting warrant so we can start to at least prepare some of tracks for baseball. And that will help alleviate baseball or softball. That will alleviate some of the congestion downtown, because it's not gonna. So I don't know where we stand with that. Is that something we should have them come in and update us?
I think at least doing that, because one of the issues, and on the staff side, and Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong, the fire chief was looking at doing very limited burn to then of the field to try to get out some of the woody material and to sort of maintain it. So there's immediate steps that is on staff's radar to try to just address the condition so that we're not actually bringing in logging trucks to clear the second issue is that, and I think it was almost at the same meeting, when you were talking to RecCom, I had talked to them about, like, they need to start identifying some form of feasibility money coming to town meeting for defining what that, say, a baseball field or some sort of project at Trask. Because right now we don't have any sort of scope. We don't have any sort of, besides their master plan, nothing to really define what a budget would be or scope or what kind of facilities we have. Last conversation I had with one of the RecCom members was that they had met with the Community Preservation Committee about maybe asking for funding at the fall town meeting for that. But I have not received an update on it. And that is worthy of bringing RecCom in, because that's when we think about some of these larger projects. It's going to be very important how we structure timing. And
if I'm not mistaken, there are grants to develop fields.
What's in the recreation?
Excuse me, Linda, do you know?
It's a PARC grant, focus in July. I think they excited it to you.
yeah,
You know, I've mentioned it to RecCom, but I'm not sure if a lot of the grants don't cover first have to have site plan involved. I'm not sure. I didn't look into it in detail. That grant is open and it is for making fields. That's what it's for, recreation.
Just. We definitely, I'm just trying to think sort of like strategically how we have a conversation that involves, because the Recreation has a master plan. I know there's also an organization that's advocating for fields and turf fields at schools. And so it feels like it's maybe, I don't know, do we bring stakeholders together to try to come up with a unifying vision for where we want to prioritize funding requests? Because if we've got one group that's trying to work on trash baseball fields, and we've got another, which I'm aware of, active community group that's actively organizing to advocate for putting turf fields at Nipmuc, and we're both trying to do the same thing, and we as a board are trying to balance a DPW needs for DPW infrastructure, needs for other types of municipal investments. Just having a plan around sort of like, okay, and we know, maybe it's 20 years from now, but at some point there's significant investment in school, which the Trask land is potentially designated for a new school. And if we put fields there, then we don't have that land. So there's just, again, I'm just right, like,
No,
these are big long-term
these
investments.
are
So it's just
facts.
like, but I don't want to I don't want to get in the way of making progress, but I also feel like there's opportunity to sort of bring voices together
Well,
around,
I understand they have a master plan in parks.
Right,
right?
But nobody's talking.
It hasn't really been
What are you gonna do with it?
Right.
Where's the funding, to do a site
Right.
plan?
and if we have an active community group, I think
Yeah.
we should
Yes.
tap into them because.
Yeah, and they're like
You know,
meeting with the
Brett's plan
schools, and they're
is-
meeting with the superintendent, and like they've got all this stuff they're
And it-
trying to do, and they're trying to figure out like, okay,
I think recreation has vision, but I don't think they are skilled how to move forward.
yeah,
And if we have, we have a wealth of knowledge in this community.
yeah,
We have a wealth of knowledge of people that are capable of writing grants and following up. We have a wealth of knowledge of people with architects and visions. Let's, instead of recreating the wheel.
Yeah.
Or
let's work
reaching
together.
outside, let's work
Where there's
together.
energy, let's amplify the energy instead of
Yes.
just trying to.
Right.
So I think
So
the name of
can
the
we,
organization,
I was gonna say, Joe, can we put together a workshop maybe? You can give them the name of the organization and the contact.
Yeah.
We'll reach out to RecCom and us, and we'll put a workshop together. And I'd rather do it sooner rather than later, because
That's
as
the
we can see, town meeting is gonna be here before we know it. We are planning in slightly over a month for town meeting.
Dr. Cole. Of the project. Yep, yeah, so. yeah, we can
And
do that.
Anyone else that, if anyone
Yeah.
is enjoying our meeting and watching it from home, and they know of someone else who would have an interest in this.
Right.
Please reach out to Joe or reach
Right.
out to someone on the board and say, we would like to be involved.
And there's people that are a lot closer to and have spent a lot more time thinking holistically about all the fields and the needs, and if we've got to prioritize and how we meet the needs and all that. So,
And I understand, because I do recognize that, some of our middle school teams are being bused quite a
Yeah.
distance
And like,
to practice,
Right.
because we don't have fields, and that to me
and there's also.
is an expense of the schools that
Right.
is unnecessary.
And I've heard stories of like, there are teams that don't play our teams because they don't want their kids playing on our fields. So
I have a question.
worth the conversation.
That was brought up DPW. What's going on with the building committee? Is there any information? Is there any progress?
They have been meeting. The next step is really on staff shoulders for finalizing a OPM request for qualifications document. And we're trying to figure out how that gets done and out on the street beginning of middle of July, so we can bring someone on. Because some of the decisions, we need an OPM anyways. And that's really the first.
See that get lost.
No,
It won't.
since we have a head honcho here, Stan Thomas, because as you mentioned the other night, Has your AC been repaired? Or was it a balmy 120 in the office?
90 today.
So tomorrow will be.
Fortunately, it'll be home to them.
It's Juneteenth, sorry. Haven't gotten used to that one yet.
Yeah, they did what they could with it, but shot. So looking into whose responsibility it would be to replace it, they seem to think it's the town's. I seem to disagree.
So let me ask you this, Joe, is there, Thursday is supposed to be worse and Dennis will be at work on Thursday. Is there the capability of the town to purchase a floor unit? Because I'm assuming it won't go in the windows
I
because.
brought a unit, brought a window unit from home and try to combat it. So fortunately, my assistant loves to eat.
God, well.
It's the 80s, it gets down to like a sweat.
Wow,
Dennis, I'm sorry.
yes,
Sorry.
it's almost,
All of,
we're beginning to approach hazardous duty pay.
well, I mean, all the resources we have in this town and you're in a trailer with nowhere to eat.
Which is basically a tin can that is folded up.
Right, absolutely.
This is where we tell you we truly appreciate both you and Paul, because not only do you do a phenomenal job, you suffer while you do a phenomenal job. And don't deny it. I've been in there. I've been in there.
We'll just have to move our union negotiations to the afternoon.
Yeah. And
during the heat. We spent all morning
Sweat it
here
out.
in that meeting room. Different kind of sweat.
So, anybody else on the priority projects? Any other concerns? Anything? We have a
Just that,
whopping 13 minutes.
We talked about. Linda and-
Yeah, and Linda and Craig, I prefer, same thing. I'd like to get these done. I warned you that we're gonna have a busy summer. The more we can get done and the more we can get accomplished.
So-
I have a wacky schedule. I'm free during the day. I think, if nights work for people. Let us know.
So, looking at schedules, if we're doing a workshop, we sort of held off, with a second meeting in July. You said you were on,
I'm away the third week of July.
so is that the week of the 15th?
I'm looking at a calendar now.
No, like the 17th, 22nd kind of range.
Oh,
So there's a week, the 22nd
July,
through the
1, 2,
27th.
3, sorry, yeah, no, so it's the 20th, I guess it's, fourth week of July, that seems kind of weird to say, but yeah, the fourth week of July. So the 21st to the 27th, that week I'm away.
what about people's availability that following week, for a workshop?
Fine, right?
Yeah, now we should
Then
have,
at least I can then float availability to the other first talking
Yeah,
about
okay.
the recreation, and then
should we try something the week of the 15th? For Craig and Linda,
15th of,
or July, or are you away that week?
I'm away that week.
Okay.
One of the question ends up being on, the 6th. We can always start with a, smaller, business meeting, and then go into a workshop. Or we can workshop in the first hour.
Yeah, or like start the business part of the meeting earlier or do a workshop earlier, you know what I mean, like sort of,
Okay, yeah, that would work for me for.
I don't know what.
And we'll clarify, that's August 6th, because I'm looking at July 6th, so I'm Joe, that's a Saturday. But that's what I mean, before you know it, we're in the fall. It's amazing.
Because if we do, and this, on the list that I have, where I have color selection, painting, Holy Angels, invite historic commission. That was anticipating that we may have them come here, but we may get a recommendation from historic on the results that we may not actually have a meeting on that.
Let's have it and say, yeah.
It may be, we may be dealing with just taking 2 minutes out of one. We do have some draft materials from the study of Christian Hill that staff is reviewing to then finalize and bring that before the board. So we could easily have more of a business meeting that then is 1 hour and then close out the rest of the night with the legal sense. With that, I think you need to define a time period. We're spending an hour and a half, and then that's it, because we could talk.
I agree. I agree, a start and an end. And I think it can be an hour. And then if we go a little bit over, that's fine, but we won't be approaching to agree.
Maybe we can do that with, sort of a detailed agenda to say like, all right, we're going to try to bring some closure on, these are the 3 things we need to discuss. We're going to try to wrap things up as opposed to just talking a lot.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Love it.
Okay. And so we have our list of priorities. Should we move to the special town meeting schedule?
Sure.
Page 56, if anybody's looking.
61 in the new passing.
Yeah.
So, pretty straightforward because of the presidential election being the first Tuesday of November. That kicks us off into the town meeting on the 12th. Historically, we've had it as late as the 16th. So this is right with the timeframe. I've already communicated with our finance department, because one of the things we always try to keep an eye out is then having our hearing for tax rates and all that stuff. So from a staff perspective, this works. It's been general custom to essentially have the warrant open for a month. Special town meeting, you can shrink it down. It's really up to the. So I just maintained a schedule that was very similar to the last couple of years. No matter what, everyone's coming in that last week, that week of ending September 6th anyways. No one submits the first day. Dennis does. He gets his stuff right away. And then within there is basically just looking at just ballpark dates as far as what the board would be reviewing the warrant, meeting finance committee, and then execution of.
Any questions? Looks good to me.
Fine to me. You're good with it, Joe. I'm good with it.
So we have another 7 minutes to kill. Even our, what?
Checkers?
It's like a sandwich at the super. Are they still open?
No, they closed, don't they close? Yeah.
Just missed it.
Darn, you did. You did. Oops, don't do that, I can see. Anybody have any comments? Would like to talk to us about
Anything new? Oh, you didn't do top of them.
Yes, I did. Nobody said anything.
She didn't say public comment. She just sort of said, does anyone have any questions or anything to offer?
Kick me next time.
I think everybody knew what you.
Yes, Marcia.
So I think, and let me show you, because this is, they are being posted, but it is in a different location, or it may show up a little differently. So let me just pull up the website. Huh? So, No, literally, because of that, I didn't hear you at all. So let me share. So let me just try. That really doesn't get it all that big. So actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cheat. We're gonna come here. So, when you come to the meeting page and you come to select board, they're right down here.
Are they being posted, sorry, through the chair?
Yes, certainly.
Are they being posted on the day of the event? I don't seem to see them Thursday or Friday.
They're posted on Friday.
Okay.
I do it by the end of the day. Sometimes if I'm have to run out, it may be Saturday morning. But they are posted on Fridays.
They don't seem to be showing up. That's why I asked. No.
We have run into, not this past meeting, the meeting before, ran into a technical issue where somehow Civic Plus made a change that, on how when staff post things, how it works, because I was getting error messages and then I had to put in a ticket, and Denise found a workaround. So like not this past meeting, but the meeting before, she ended up finding a workaround and posted it on a Saturday because I had everything there. But what I end up doing is passing the board the link for the meeting, so that they can then just go directly to the page. And then, like today, I posted this revised one because we had that topic that Dennis forgot. So
this would need to also that if you sign up to get information about the gym, so I guess everybody needs to sign up again if that's that glitch.
So when the packets get posted, it gives me the option of sending out a text message for people who have applied saying that this document. So I don't know what people experience. They should, if they signed up for agendas, they should be getting that. If you're not, I'll follow up with Kathleen as well as our vendor to see if that's a different item, so that like the agenda itself, when that gets posted, anyone that signs up should receive that. I'll look to see if you include attachments, I'll look to see if that's a different notification. My understanding is that any document that then is attached to that meeting, it should go out as an amendment. But I'll take a look at it. So, yep.
It's supposed to, because nobody knows it's not working until we hear about it. You know, it's like when people send an email, people were sending an email to me and I wasn't getting it until Kathleen sent an email to me saying, are you getting your emails? And I didn't respond.
And like, I get the agenda and the packet like on the website. I don't even, he emails it, but that's just my cue to go to the website. Cause I know sometimes he posts more updated ones on the website before my inbox. So like, we don't notice necessarily.
This weekend, I didn't see it, just like the format changed. Click here for the agenda, that little, little icon for the dates or whatever, where it used to be, it's like that on some of the, but not all of it, when you.
Yeah, because that ends up being a template. So there's some boards that Kathleen may not have gotten to, like if Green Committee, which like posts once a month, she just may not have done the template, but select board, planning board, ones that are very frequent, then it's developing a template. So then she just comments. So.
Thank you.
Almost, I thought, do we talk? Perfect.
Yeah,
Here's that minute.
we have one, that forever minute. And I apologize for looking at my phone. Someone could not get into a property I have listed and.
Not holding us up at all.
But just if you ever notice anything, because there's plenty of times that it's like, when you send an email, hit send, I'm all set, and then all of a sudden you find out it's stuck in your outbox.
Yeah.
I try to get everything out because I want to let the board know all this is posted. So while I will text or email saying, hey, it's out there, just feel free to send an email, hey, did something go up? Because,
Thank you.
yep.
At 7:15, I'd like to open the public hearing to set water and sewer rates for FY 2025. I have to read the notes. I have a motion, I don't have a notice.
Sorry, it's the following page, the notes.
Okay,
There it is.
thank you. Legal notice, public hearing, water and sewer rates, Town of Upton, Select Board. Please be advised that the Select Board, in accordance with General Bylaws, Chapter 247, Water, Section 12, rates for connection and use of the town's public water supply system, and under said General Bylaws, Chapter 223, Sewer, Section 4, rates for connection and use of the town's public sewer system, will hold a public hearing to review the water and sewer rates proposed by Director of Public Works for fiscal year 2025 on Tuesday, June 18th, 2024 at 7:15 at the Town Hall, room 203, 1 Main Street, Upton, Massachusetts, 01568. Oh, you have not hit the gavel. You never hit the gavel.
I did, when I did public hearings, it's the one time I used the gavel.
Boy, that's my first time, guys.
I just wanted, I know, that's great.
Serious, okay.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Open the meeting. Dennis, are we having a good time yet?
I thought we had rates too.
We did,
do.
I saw the rates. I
But
saw
now
the paperwork. I don't know if it was.
Memo, it's like this.
55 the new one.
I got that.
That's the rates. I didn't print off a copy.
It's not, you might not have a printed version.
Right.
No, I think it's in the. I saw
I
it
saw
in
the
email.
rates.
After, it's on 50, well, I'm on this, I think you are both on the.
I'm on the
I'm
original
on
one
50
because
I'm
I
on
didn't
55, but
see
you're,
I
I'm
didn't
on
see the
55,
agenda,
the
the
warrant,
amended
there's the
schedule, and
end
I'm
right
not on the
there.
internet.
see, so it's not, not in the. it's in
It
the
wasn't in
revised
the
packet.
original, it was in
I
the
have-
revised. We received an email about it. and
Yeah,
I didn't
send it.
see I may have it downloaded somewhere else.
Well, do you have the access to the website? Because it is on the,
I am on,
Yeah, you can go to the website.
okay, and I'll go to the meeting.
Yeah.
it is on the original one that was posted on the website.
Yeah, it was.
It would be page 51 is of the original packet, is Dennis's memo, and then 52 is the rates.
Final rate.
Yeah. There it is.
That's the second good one.
Yeah. That'll get you there.
It's opening, so.
And it's 55. Yeah.
What's it under?
Maureen's getting there, so scroll up and you'll go under, see, bottom right, it's the select board meeting there. Bottom right, yeah, there you go, and scroll up.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a faster way to get the page should be going? No, oh, I see, yes, there is, look at that.
Yeah.
The bottom one,
There you
yep.
go, yes, Oh,
See, we're doing what we just showed you to do,
you want to make it.
getting the revised
I
packet.
always click on, oh, where's the thing to make it bigger? Fancy.
Touch screen,
Oh,
which is why I
fancy,
use mine, not the
fancy.
town's, because otherwise I'm poking at it, and it doesn't like me.
55.
55, so if you go,
55.
oh, I was gonna say, I opened mine in Adobe, and.
Well, if we can go through it.
There it is.
Ah,
There it is.
There it is. So we should have done this in our lag time, but oops,
Okay,
it's too escaping.
so thank you very much for taking time to see me this evening. This is our annual rate setting, very exciting. The good news is our enterprise accounts are very stable. They're probably better today than they have been. And this is due to the actions that we have done over the past several years, at least the last 6, where we have stabilized our rate structure. We abolished our surcharge, made it more transparent. We tried to anticipate better capital planning and keep a healthy retained earning, which we have in both accounts. They're roughly about $1 million in each right now. And I can tell you, Kenny's very pleased and very happy that we've done such a good job in keeping our rates from spiking. And enterprise accounts are notorious for spiking rates because you have unanticipated things that come up, like failures, catastrophic failures with a pump station, or you have every 5 years the new DEP rules come out. And for instance, we had PFAS on just recently came out. We were very fortunate. Some communities around us were not. To remedy that is millions and millions of dollars, and we escaped it. So, having said that, that is good news. You should be very proud. You have 2 very solid, strong enterprise accounts that get better each year. One is completely unsubsidized and one is near. And our goal has always been, at least since I've been here, this board has always tasked me with getting us off as quickly as we can, which Kenny and I have worked diligently on for the last 7 budgets. The bad news, if you want to talk about the bad news, is there are things that are out of our control that happen every single year. The cost of doing business never goes down. We have fixed costs like our electricity, our chemicals, they're constantly going up. New rules and regulations that require cutting edge technology to keep our cost levels under control. And then we have contractual obligations that we have to consider. So roughly the enterprise accounts both went up about 4.7% on the operating side of it on the last budget. That was strictly for fixed costs. That doesn't include what we're going to be asking in the November meeting to put into these accounts for contractual obligation to the employees. However, that is, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the budget as a whole, it doesn't amount to a very large percentage. But we have to take that into consideration when we're projecting our rate structure. So we want to stay as stable as we can. We want to anticipate as much as we can. We want to avoid those spikes. The last thing I ever want to do as a public works director is come before this board and recommend something like 18 or 25. And I'm not going to mention any towns, but there's a couple of departments that just had 30% rate increases. So I don't want to ever have to do that. So we need to make sure that we definitely have a path that is going to keep us in solvency, but not overburden the customer. That's the trick. So what you have is a recommendation from me and my team, with some assistance from Ty and Bond to help us do our long-range planning for an increase in both the water and the wastewater of 5% across the boards. For the board's information, this is exactly what we did last year. And if you remember, when we got rid of the surcharge, we had a very big presentation where we talked about long-range planning. And we saw in future years, we had some pretty big capital investments to do with the treatment plant and whatnot that was going to really challenge that rate structure. And the goal today is to anticipate that for then, and try to ramp up to it. So when we get there, we're not underwater. No pun intended. So 5% is a modest increase, and I know the board likes to put it into terms that can be easily understood, so we always think about our billing like this. We do quarterly billing. If you think about the average user, 5% increase on the water side is $9.82 a quart. On the sewer side, it's $22.52 a quart. If you have both water and sewer, it's $32.34. That is the increase. Our other costs that are associated with our enterprise account are our cross connections, annual and semi-annual testing. We have meter replacement, the radio reads, the touchpad replacements. We have fees for second meter charges for people who have irrigation, postage for meter testing for people who think there's an issue with the meter and we have to send it out to be tested, new meter connection and new sewer connection. I am not proposing any changes to those. By the way, those have not changed in the 6.5 years I've been. That's as exciting as I can make it. Awesome.
Great job. I think you've done an exceptional job. Considering how much everything else in life has gone up.
Yeah, and just want to remind people that customers, seniors or veterans, there is a property tax exemption to reduce, to receive a discount on the customer service charge.
Yes, customer service charge.
I have a related question.
Yes.
If I may. I don't want you to necessarily speculate, but do you have a sense of like, it seems like we have really good water in Upton, like in terms of water quality and.
I think so. We have some aging pipes.
Yeah.
So we have a much better flushing program than we used to have,
Yeah,
but we still have 6 miles of AC pipe that needs to come out of the ground.
Yeah.
And even our ductile and our cast, some of that's from the late 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
And we need to be thinking about replacement programs. I guess my point is, Brett, that to your point, we do have good water.
Yeah.
We have great well sources. We do
Yeah.
a good job of treating. We don't over chlorinate, but we contain a residual that is safe for everyone.
Yeah.
But we do have some older pipes that kick up some discoloration,
got it. Yeah.
especially in certain areas.
And like the PFAS, like, how do we escape that one? Yeah,
We chase them down. I mean, generally, every once in a while, it's not the water main. Every once in a while, it's something in the customer's house.
yeah,
But most of the time, it's the water. And we have an area that plagues us. So the area that runs off of one of the West River pump stations
yeah,
has high manganese. And it's one of the last pump stations we put in, and it doesn't run that often.
Yeah.
So we get a break from it, but every once in a while when we have droughts and we have a big pull on the system and those run, it increases our manganese and that discolors the water in the Mendon Street area. And we're working towards finding a solution because we know what it is.
And then what about capacity in the system, with some of the development and the growth and Governor's Landing and those kinds of things? That's
a
I know you look at and forecast those things, but I figured this is as good a time as any to ask about it.
So we are still a little ways off of withdrawal. In other words, we're healthy. And considering Governor's Landing and any other areas around here that could be developed, and of course, we considered Pulte Homes before they went in. When we did that, remember that comprehensive assessment? That's when we took a really hard look at what we were capable of doing. And we are still solid. However, I suspect within about a couple of years, we are probably going to have to talk about beginning stages of permitting another one. It's about a 5-year timeframe, and it's about $5 or $6 million to do. But it's stretched out over that time, so it doesn't hit you all at once. But most likely, the recommendation is going to be that we start thinking about adding a well.
Have you identified where we would add a well?
That would be part of that whole project because we would want to make sure you really put your time and your effort up front to reap the benefits of where you end up. I mean, I've seen mistakes made on that level and paid for it dearly because you don't get that money back when you find out that you have a well doesn't produce.
Right. My other concern would be
as land becomes more and more scarce. There aren't a lot of places you can put a well.
Right.
You know, so, and that's about where we're at, is everything continues to be built out.
And then same question for sewer capacity. How are we there?
So we're good with sewer, and our biggest problem with sewer is I&I, which we have been chipping away at for the last several years. This year, we did smoke testing, which was the next phase DEP identified that we had to do for the hot zones. We have 2 or 3 red zones, and so we worked in that. We have a report associated with it. We submitted it to DEP, and now we'll be waiting for the next round of investigating that we have to do, which is going to put us in some homes.
But the capacity at the treatment plant.
So we have a 420,000 gallon a day capacity, and you know, our standard level, if there's no I&I, is around 160 to 175. So less than half.
So it's going to bring that.
That's the I&I.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is right where you think it's
Yeah.
right in the railroad yard. That's a clay pipe that's coming through there. It's an interceptor. It's a main trunk line. It's right next to a stream, but we are correcting.
Great, thank you.
Well, anyhow, does anybody have any other questions? Do I hear a motion, or do I close the public hearing? Sorry.
Yeah.
Close the public hearing at 7:31 PM on June 18th. Do I hear a motion?
I move that the select board vote to approve the fiscal year 2025 water and sewer rates as proposed by the Director of Public Works.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Dennis.
coming. We appreciate that.
Stay cool.
Need me for anything else tonight?
No, we appreciate
The
it.
ocean starts thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hang around, she'll
Yeah,
come up with
exactly. We can
more.
come up with some stuff like that.
I can see this.
Let me get on my dentist list. Hold on.
More of me split up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Take care. Night.
Good night. Am I correct that we have done everything except the executive session?
Correct.
Okay, so I'd like to move. Oh, look at that, 7:32 into executive session. We're only 2 minutes off. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You appreciate it?
Got the short straw. I just forgot the all the action.
Good to see you. Take care.
See ya.
For coming, Marsha and Lynn.
Thanks,
Thank you, appreciate it.
I move that the select board vote to enter into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, Exceptions number 2, to conduct contract negotiations with non-personnel and roll call.
Second the motion, Brett Simus, aye.
R-E-L-I.
Laura, have I, now that we're back in open. meeting.
Can you sit here?
Motion.
We just said we didn't write one.
Well,
But
I-
that really should be in part of the original, the open session motion.
Yeah, yes, right. So shouldn't I read this now? Oh, no, what am I missing?
No, because it said,
Uh-huh.
to approve.
The draft. and plan.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that's,
right?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. I like it. I'm like, I think I'm looking at it. I think that's it.
We've had a rough night tonight.
I move that the select board vote to approve amendments discussed in the draft employment agreement between Joseph Layden and the town of Upton Select Board, and to vote to approve the agreement in open session.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to end the meeting so we can thaw ourselves?
No kidding. I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.